Hello and welcome to today's episode of Business Spotlight, where we are joined by Alan Dark of Alacrity Legal Services Limited. Welcome, Alan.
Good morning. Thank you, Hannah.
Good morning. So good to have you on today. I'm going to dive straight in. Tell us what you do and how long you've been doing it for.
Well, I am an employment lawyer, and I've been doing employment law for 20 years. Mainly in private practice, so high street law firms, city law firms. I did work in-house for a large defence manufacturer when I started my legal career, but now I've decided to go solo and set up Alacrity Legal Services before COVID, around 4 years ago. Okay. And it's been busy and vibrant and booming ever since.
What motivated you to start? I mean, was it on the cusp of COVID, knowing that was sort of impending, or was it before with no idea what was going to happen?
It was pre-COVID.
Okay.
Before I knew what was going to happen. I'd been headhunted to open a boutique law firm by the employment solicitor, which I opened in Leamington, set up in the Pure offices, not too far from yourselves in Warwick. Yeah. So I was there, and I quickly became known as those Pure offices legal officer. So I would
it's a tongue twister.
I would receive lots of instructions from businesses in the Pure offices, assisting with their employment queries. But I believe we moved out of there before you guys moved in.
I was going to come and knock on your door then.
Absolutely. It was a bit awkward at some times because I'd get an employer come and see me about an errant employee, and they'd have to sneak into my office before the employee would come into work that day and say, "Oh, they can't see me coming in here," because they'll think that I'm speaking about our delightful staff. So yeah, that was it was quite interesting, but it was great. It was a fantastic community there at the Pure offices. But having sort of set up on my own, I've got everything I need from my desk now. So yeah, as I said, I was headhunted to set up a firm in Leamington for the employment solicitor, and whilst doing that, I thought, you know what, these are my clients, these are sort of my people. Why not branch out and set up Alacrity, which is what I did, and it's been fantastic ever since.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said about taking that brave step to start on your own. Tell me, I'm going to digress from the questions here. Alacrity, what made you choose? What inspired you to call your business Alacrity?
Well, Alacrity means sort of clearer thought and vision and precise, and that's what I hoped I provide when I give legal advice. It's also a bit of a pun on my name, Alan. So ALS, Alacrity Legal Services, is also short for ALS, and I was called Al a lot at school. So I mean, it goes over everybody's head, including mine. So there's a bit of a play on words, and Alacrity being A. So sometimes I'll be recommended or in a list of firms that employees can go and see. So A being near the top. So all sorts of reasons.
Covering all bases, and I can see Al's now. Now that you've mentioned that, I can see it's glaringly obvious. Oh, amazing! And so, taking that decision to start on your own, that brave decision, has it been everything that you hoped it would be?
It has, and more. The freedom you get working for yourself, the responsibility, and also I think other businesses want to support sort of owner managed business. I do act for some large corporate multinationals, but a number of business I work for, or indeed get referrals from, owner managed businesses, SMEs, and I think when they saw me taking that step to work for myself, I think they'd look out for you a bit more. They'd more readily refer you to their clients and their contacts, rather than just being a solicitor in a larger firm. So actually, I found the business community has been really supportive, and helped by you guys at Action Coach and Kevin and everybody, and I've received referrals from Kevin, and also that's generated further business from Kevin's contacts. So it's been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, we are spoiled in Pure Offices. We're spoiled. We are like one family. Obviously, Action Coach is, our community is, it really is like our family. How important has it been for you as a new business to really have that support from the businesses, the community?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's been vital, and also not just support in terms of bringing work, but also me getting assistance. So local accountants, I use Greenough Accountants in Southam. They've been absolutely fantastic. Sort of recommended some very good software packages for accounting software, so I can do all my invoices, all my VAT returns, and everything from that software. And just to get sort of recommendations from them, from other business users that are using that package. So that makes things easy, because running your own business, there's a lot of things you need to keep up to speed with. So accounts and like I said, tax, VAT, paying yourself, which is always a good day at the end of the month when you pay yourself.
You pay yourself as a business owner. That's unusual.
So yeah, that's nice. Sometimes I forget, even, heaven forbid, until my bank says you've got no money in your account. So I better pay myself this month.
You're always the last to be paid. Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. But the support from the local community has been massive. So yeah, I thank you guys at the Business Coach for that, and long may the relationship continue.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So tell me a little bit more about Alacrity. What is it that you do that makes you stand out in your industry?
Well, what's great about sort of working for myself, I'm not tied to sort of the corporate fee strategy that many larger law firms have. I don't have billing targets, so it means I can represent a smaller number of firms, but take a greater interest in what they do, rather than if I were in a larger law firm, I'd probably be passing down a lot of the work that I now do myself to more junior fee earners, which, as capable as they don't have my experience of business, how things work. I've been there, I've seen it, I've done it. I've represented clients in tribunals hundreds and hundreds of times. So that's where I think I can differ. I can offer that personal service at a very high experienced and technical level. And I think that's unrivaled in many larger firms. And I know that because I was in one, and I knew the pressures that people of my experience in those large firms are under. They're simply trying to get new clients, new business all the time, and then it gets fed down to those at the bottom of the tree. But with myself, it's very much a personal service, so I can represent both large businesses, small businesses, and also individuals. And I get a number of referrals from law firms who simply don't act for individuals anymore because it doesn't fit in with their sort of their corporate structure. So that is a good source of work from other law firms, and it's a great feather in the cap when you know your fellow professionals are referring you work. And the number of people that I used to work with now still in law firms, conflicts comes up and it comes to me. So always good to help out my sort of former colleagues in relation to those matters.
Yeah, definitely. And I like that you mentioned the personal touch and offering the experience for those that necessarily wouldn't have had the opportunity to have that level of experience. So no, that's really important. Absolutely. What would you say that you would attribute your growth to? So it's been 4 years now. Referrals and community are in place. Recommendations from your peers. Around growth, what would be your number one sort of key to success there?
Well, horrible thing to say, but COVID helped. me, in the sense that businesses really did need professional advisors during that period. They relied very heavily on their accountants and their lawyers. So COVID was an extremely busy time for me, helping a number of businesses, just even sort of accessing funds. They, pick your phone up to, it's a crisis, pick your phone up to the lawyer, because if I don't know the answer myself, my contacts in accountants, finance community, I was able to put people in touch with those that they needed to get that advice. From my own perspective, there has been numerous cases coming out of the use or not of furlough. And I recently represented a company who decided not to furlough an individual. And they argued that they should have been furloughed, and that went to court. So I heard, not had the decision yet, so I'm confident that we'll get a decision for that business. And sort of drafting furlough agreements for employers to use. So yeah, I mean, COVID was a really busy time. It was a fraught time for a number of businesses, but I was sort of quick to react and very quick to help out businesses in those difficult situations. So that got me a lot of contacts, a lot of referrals, really boosted the business, gave me a really good start. And now COVID's died down. Hopefully we won't be going back there, but I've retained all those links and contacts that I made.
Yeah, no, hopefully. But interesting that there's still some sort of the ripple effect from COVID is still.
Absolutely. And we're only at the first instance in relation to those decisions. So at the employment tribunal level, there's bound to be appeals in relation to those decisions. So it will go to the Employment Appeal Tribunal, and that's when we have precedent. And we're still not there yet. I mean, the employment tribunals are flooded with backlog, they're underfunded. So it's taking 24 months for these cases to come to tribunal, and then it will take another 12 or more months for the appeals to come through, and then we'll start getting the precedents that the employment tribunals can then follow. So yeah, the ripple effect, as you say, and it's affected a number of businesses and a number of individuals who sort of lost confidence and concerned about their future. So for an individual who's dismissed during COVID, possible likely future employment for them is low, so the chance of a claim and the value of those claims increase as well. So it's been a really busy period, really testing time for a number of clients, and I'm really pleased that I've been able to help them through it. A number of my endorsements and recommendations have said that working hand in hand with the business, and they really valued my sound advice through that period.
Yeah. A real shoulder to rely on by the sounds of it, but incredibly busy, as you've just said, incredibly busy and incredibly high on emotion. So, which takes me brilliantly to my next question. How do you balance your personal life then with the demands of running the business?
Well, as you might be able to see over my left shoulder, I cycle at weekends with Warwick Lantern Rouge, a local cycling club. So that's a real good stress reliever. Balancing it, working from home really helps. I used to sort of commute into Birmingham every day. The 7:25 from Leamington into Birmingham, and so you're at the house, pre-7. You're not getting back till gone 7, and that's on a normal day. That's when you're not, tied up in deals or court cases and things like that. So yeah, getting the time for yourself was difficult with the commute, but not having the commute now, you can save 2 hours every day, and that sort of 2 hours of an evening during the week allows me to sort of engage in other pursuits, indoor cycling on the trainer in the garage, or open water swimming. First one of the season on Tuesday at Compton Burney.
Oh, no, I've heard that Compton Burney, absolutely. It's meant to be really, really good. How cold are we talking though, Alan? What?
15 degrees.
Oh, okay.
15 degrees. Now I had a wetsuit. I had a winter sort of hat on underneath my swim cap, gloves and boots, all neoprene. But the more hardy there were just going in the swimming costume. So they looked at me as if I was. I might as well have had a snorkel and scuba gear on when I jumped in. I didn't so much swim as sort of flap around on the surface, but it's great and it's fantastic for mental health and de-stressing. Open water swimming, couldn't recommend it enough. So if you're in this area, and Compton Burn is such a beautiful place. So yeah, get involved. It's great fun. It's great fun.
It looks it. I must admit, it does look it. I have I've peered from the outskirts of a colleague that I network with. He does it, and he does it quite hardcore, sort of winter swimming as well. And
wow,
so he's pretty hardcore. It's 15 degrees. I could probably manage, but yeah, I guess with open water swimming, there's no room or less room for those thoughts to come in, because you are concentrating on your environment. You're literally
absolutely. So the open water swimming and the cycling sort of part of like triathlon, which I do as well. So, and that's pretty intense. So you don't get time for those thoughts to creep in. I used to play golf. Well, you know, who didn't? But I found that it wasn't the de-stressor that you'd like. Occasionally it was, but yeah, there's a lot of time in golf to think about other things. So I then got into sort of cycling first, and then triathlon. So you don't get a lot of time to think when you're on the edge of exhaustion.
No, you have to be present. What are my legs doing? What am I exactly? Yeah. Where am I? What do I need to be doing? No, I think that's great advice. That's brilliant advice. And if you're an amateur, can you come along and do open water swimming? If you're an amateur, if you're not used to cycling, can you just come in?
Absolutely. And that's what's great about triathlon in general, really. There's Stratford upon Avon triathlon going on this week on Sunday, and you'll see those with all the gear going off first, sprinting round and doing it in ridiculous times, and then throughout the day it gets sort of more friendly, more slower, and you'll have sort of people riding with mountain bikes with baskets on the front come the end, and they're just as entitled to go around the course, and they do exactly the same course as those guys and girls that went off early in the pool at 7 in the morning, and everyone will get the same enjoyment from it. And the one question that people don't ask at the end is, what was your time? It's not relevant for anybody. People might ask you, how did you find the cycle, or how did you get on in the swim? But nobody actually asks how long it took you, because that's only important to you. It's not important to anyone else. So it's a fantastic sport. I wish I'd done it when I was a bit younger and more mobile and could have trained more. But yeah, it's great. I highly recommend it. So go along to Stratford, go and have a look, and look at the enjoyment and the fun that people are having. And yeah, I'd recommend it to anyone, especially those in business. It is a fantastic stress reliever. And yeah, if you're on the golf course now and you're sort of thinking, this is nice, go jump on a bike and get involved in that community as well.
Yeah, there it is. And as you said, people don't ask you about the time. It is all, everybody's journey is different. That reminds me of business. You know, success is in the eye of the beholder. So your time, how you're building your business, is in, you know, is in your mind. But how often do we then look outwards and compare? So similarly with sport, but similarly with businesses, we do often sort of look out and compare a lot, don't we? And compare our numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know my accounting practice has got a section in that you can compare similar businesses and how your sort of profit line is tracking against businesses that are similar, they say, to yours, but they may not be. They may not have the same ambitions. They may not have the same drives. They may not have the same sort of intention to grow or to contract. So yeah, what is a similar business? You might have the same product, but your designs for that business, your reason for doing it, what you give to the community may be completely different. So so yeah, like you say, triathlon is can be like business.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to check it out. Definitely check it out.
Yes.
What would you say has been your biggest learning over your journey so far?
The biggest learning, I mean, that's an interesting question. I mean, we're learning every day, aren't we, in business, and you can't stop learning. I think having the confidence to do it, believing in yourself, and also trusting in others to trust in you. I sort of underwent surgery sort of some 20 years ago, and it was all panic and rush, and everyone was sort of rushing me into surgery. But then when the actual surgeon himself came in, everything just went calm. And he inspired absolute confidence in me, sat me down, looked me in the eye, said, "This is what we're going to do," etc., etc. And that's what I try and bring to advice. So if you walk in a boardroom and you're giving advice, or if you see an individual who is undergoing stress, I mean, people are coming to lawyers, employment lawyers, at least, at a stressful time in their life or in business, and they want a calm and reassuring voice, someone that's been there, someone that's done it, someone that can speak to them commercially about their business and what I can do to assist them. And that's been sort of the learning curve. So, enabling others to trust you has been quite a learning curve, especially when you're on your own. You own a business. I don't have the big sign above the door. So actually, the learning curve is that they are very much trusting you as an individual, rather than the firm that you were with. So, and that's been great. That's been great for me.
That's a very, very important point to make. It's been made in another business spotlight actually just last week. It's the realization when, as a business owner, that you are selling not just your business but yourself, and building that trust. Really important, Alan. Yeah, great learning, great share. Thank you. Final question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And do you have any words of advice for any other business owners who are looking to grow?
In the next 5 years, I just want to keep doing what I'm doing. Yeah, it'd be great for profit to go up, for turnover to go up, for expenses to go down, which isn't going to happen. They're only going up. But I love what I do, and I want to keep doing it. I mean, I've been doing it now for 25 years. It's becoming more dynamic. It's becoming more competitive. Whether computers will be doing my job in 5 years' time. I mean, you could go on to Google and they'll do your exam for you. Why not your advice? I mean, I would suggest that whether a sort of automated intelligence can understand the nuances of human behavior is perhaps another thing. And I think actually the introduction of AI in my job is going to make things better for me and also my client, because a lot of the stuff I do in the advice is common ground, but where I can really add value is that insightful bit in between. So if someone else can do this is the law, this is what that says, what this says, this is the probability, etc., but then I can give that personal insight. So yeah, AI in law is going to be a big thing. I think it's going to enhance those, certainly at my level. Whether it's going to be more tough for those coming into the market, possibly, but I can see it as a positive for me and also for other businesses. So certainly that's what I want to be doing in the next 5 years, doing less law, get a computer to do that, and I can give the sort of the personal touch and the insights and advice. I mean, I think I just go for it. Just go for it. There's a reason you're doing what you're doing now. It's because you can do it. So do it for yourself. Set up your business, grow your business. And that's certainly the advice I'd give. Don't hold back. Trust in yourself, believe in yourself, and you will have support and encouragement from others.
I love that. Just go for it. Just do it. What a brilliant way to end. So good. Just go for it. Don't hold yourself back. Thank you so much for joining us on Business Spotlight, Alan. It's been an absolute pleasure to chat to you and to hear about your business journey. There's loads of learnings and takeaways, so I can't wait to share this with our community. Thank you so much. Thank you, Alan.
And thank you, Hannah. Thank you for having me.
Absolute pleasure. Speak again soon.
Speak soon.